Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. So today we're going to do some exploration. Um, I think when the mind can understand the body a little bit better, um, it considers it a little bit more. So we are going to explore and traverse and find out all the little places of the shoulder girdle. Now, this is a really useful technique, even just the power of touch. Um, if your neck is stiff or sore, or you're tight, or you feel like it's all one piece, you're having trouble moving your neck, sometimes just the visualization is enough to get things moving. So, we are going to start. So we're going to walk our fingers along. So we're going to walk our fingers up our arm bone, the humerus, and we're going to get to the top here. Maybe you want to squeeze. Maybe you want to feel the roundness of the head of the humerus here. Whenever I rub my shoulders like this, I always imagine them kind of like filling up with air. I was filling up my paddleboard the other day, and at each pump I was thinking about every joint in my body, expanding. So we have the head of the humerus here. Now, if you walk your fingers a little bit further along, you'll find a little flat bone here right at the top of your shoulder. This is the acromion. It is part of the scapula, so it's part of the shoulder blade in the back here. So feel how flat it is. Maybe if you come a little bit forward on it and walk your fingers medially here to the inside. This is the collarbone. You can go on the top of the collarbone here. You'll find some fleshy part, right? There's a lot going on in there. There's nerves, there's muscles, there's arteries, there's veins. And a lot of those muscles can get tight with stress. So if we fall off the back part here and lift up our shoulder, you can feel a little bony prominence in there. That's your first rib. So your first rib is actually this beautiful circle in here, and that's the best place to feel it. One of the other things, if you keep walking your fingers along to the edge of the shoulder here, there's another little joint. So this is a acromioclavicular joint. So it is it's a rounded little prominence here. It's a funny little joint. It has a triangular disc in it, and it's not it's commonly injured, and it's kind of flimsy, but it's what holds your arm on, right? So that and a whole bunch of muscles. So how we're going to feel this is we're going to just shrug the shoulder up, shrug the shoulder down. Maybe you want to take your arm out to the side. Make sure you keep your thumb on the top. Lift the arm up and feel it move there underneath your fingers. It's good. Maybe you can go forward, you can go backwards. See if you can feel a little bit of movement in there. So that's the acromioclavicular joint. If you walk your fingers a little bit medially here to the middle and a little bit back, you are on a muscle. Should feel nice and soft. So you might feel a really tender spot in there, and that is a trigger point. So the trigger point in this muscle, upper fiber trapezius, can often feel like a big hook around the ear. So headaches, if you have headaches, ask yourself, where is my headache? So how you treat trigger points is just applying firm pressure, and then you bring the breath. So you're going to breathe through this spot and really let your focus go right through the middle of it. It'll be a little bit intense at the start, but then it should ease off. So if you are not sure which muscle you're on here, a good way to activate the trapezius muscle is just to raise your shoulder, and you'll feel that muscle come right up into your hand there. So let's try a couple of those. Good. So that's another nice way to kind of release the trapezius muscle, the upper fibers of traps. You activate them and let them relax, activate them and let them relax a couple of times, and this gets the brain involved with the muscle. And the brain is kind of a bully, doesn't always include the muscle. So if we travel along, we'll go forwards here, and now we'll go below the collarbone. So if we walk our fingers out to the edge, you might feel this little, should be a little tender actually, might be a little tender. It's kind of like a finger-like projection. Like, so imagine the front of my thumb sticking through here. And feel with your fingers, feel for like the rounded edges of it. And if we go just below, we fall onto these. Maybe they're kind of ropey fibers. If you go back and forth here, this is pec minor. Pec minor attaches to the coracoid. The coracoid process is part of the scapula, so part of the shoulder blade. So we're kind of getting this picture now of our shoulder blade. We can feel it here and we can feel it up here. If we walk a little more lateral now, we're going to fall into this little groove. So this is a groove where the bicep tendon slides up and down. So maybe you want to feel some flexion, extension here, and maybe you can feel the tendon sliding through. If you can't feel it there, that's no problem. Just go down to the middle of the biceps and start to flex and extend and feel like you're doing an imaginary curl. So feel this feeling, feel the muscle activate and then relax and just keep moving up and follow it. So we're going to track it and trace it this way. Good. And then you should find that nice little groove there. So we have the bicipital groove. If you keep walking along the collarbone, you will come to the middle here. This is the manubrium. It's a little bone where the collarbone or the clavicle attaches in the middle. And if you follow it down, this is the sternum. So you have a better picture of this whole side of the shoulder girdle. Now I want you to just think for a minute and compare it to the other side.